So let's get into the studying tips and let me set the scene.
Okay.
It's the year 2019
Okay, that's very specific for us.
when Ray and I
Yeah.
started our first year.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you one thing, okay? University is different than high school. And in high school, I did get away with a lot. You know, starting my studying sessions very late, even not even studying at all. I could get away with that in high school. I'm not gonna lie. Unfortunate. Well, maybe not. It's not an unfortunate event
Not
because
unfortunate at
because
all.
studying actually
Yeah,
does
yeah,
help
yeah.
you learn, believe it or not. But it is a little bit more necessary in university. So, I think the first tip that I can give you, and that comes from my personal experience, is that as soon as you have anything to learn, just start studying it right away. If you're starting a unit in university, let's say you're doing limits in calculus, and your prof says these are the readings that you have to do before you come to class. Don't just sit there and say, okay, I'll do it the day I have my class. I'll read, which is, the reason I say this is because Rayhan and I did exactly the same thing.
You have to mention it. You have to
we
mention it. though.
we'd literally wait until like 20 minutes before our calculus class, and we're like, oh no, we gotta watch.
We have a few videos to watch.
We have
yeah.
to watch these pre-class videos. We have to do some readings. We'd watch them at like 2x speed, not understand a word of them, and then go to class, and we'd be completely lost. So now, if I could go back to first year, I would definitely, as soon as I have the chance to watch the pre-class lectures, pre-class videos, I would do them right away. That's
So
it.
I actually remember this one boy in our class who had done the whole. So because our particular mathematics class had these pre-class lectures that were all available on YouTube, and I think we've mentioned this multiple times before for anyone really to go check it out. And one guy had done this whole pre-class thing on YouTube before coming in, and he did really well in the course. He did really, really well in the course. I mean, we can talk about him later, but you definitely know him. But he did really well in the course, just showing you how that a little bit of knowledge before you actually learn the material, just a good foundational understanding of, because the readings, the lectures, they don't just say it because it's work. In high school, when they give you work to do, you're like, oh, it's just work. It's just work. They're just giving it to you because they need to give you something for you to pass the course. But here, I was a little loud, but but here in university, they don't care. Like, if you don't read, you just don't learn the material, because all of the material, most of the material is in those pre-class readings, in those lectures, in those things that a lot of the times they don't even do in lecture. So,
Yeah.
because a big thing about high school is, hey, you can always have the teacher to student connection, because there's 30 kids.
That actually reminds me, like on a test,
Yeah.
if like on a test in high school, if what like let's say you had a question that the teacher didn't teach, the students could literally complain and be
Yeah.
like, hey, you didn't teach us. It doesn't go that way
In-
in uni.
In university, it's like you didn't teach it? No, you didn't learn it.
Exactly.
It was your job to learn the material.
Yeah.
Regardless of whether, if it is a part of the field, then it will be on the test.
Yep.
A lot of times. And as I was saying, with that connection, that's really fundamental in a lot of classrooms. You have that student-teacher connection that's just not present in university. That professor, you usually get office hours, or, what are they called in America? I'm assuming office hours is where
guess
it's
so,
called
yeah.
everywhere. Professor office hours, like times where you can kind of speak to the professor in a limited group. Those are chances where you can really understand particular material a little bit more. But in a classroom, you're basically just listening. So going
Taking
into
notes.
and taking notes, but like listening, understanding, taking notes. So going into it, already have read some of the stuff beforehand, already read what you were gonna do in the class beforehand. You're already like, okay, I just know it, I'm just revising it now.
Yeah.
You know, you're not learning it for the first time. Because a lot of times when you're learning it for the very first time, and especially they're writing like a crap ton of notes on the board, you're like, oh my God, wait, I'm not understanding it, but you're still writing it down. Like, I'm not understanding anything, but I'm just writing it down. That's terrible.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
And a quick application of what we just said is that come second year, I actually started studying for my calculus course during the summer, and like copying all the notes down because they had them published online, and just getting like used to the material before even the class started. But what I noticed is that when I actually went to the first class, I knew exactly what they were teaching, and I knew exactly how to answer the questions, and I didn't have to take extra time, even though I guess I took that extra time before starting the course, but I didn't have to sit there and wonder like, oh, I don't know how to do this. I'm going to have to go ask the prof. I'm going to have to get like clarifications. I was already on top of the ball before the ball was even rolling.
Ooh,
That's
nice.
that's the gist of this tip right here. Is as soon as you have the chance to start learning, just learn. And this actually ties into like the second thing. I actually wanted to say this first, but I kind of forgot. But here it is. The best studying tip is to enjoy math and physics.
Oh, I mean,
That-
studying math and physics. The best
Well, yeah,
tip for studying math.
studying math. The best.
Well, yeah,
studying
but
tip
to
is
enjoy whatever you're studying is the message you're trying to send. But yeah.
100%, because there's nothing worse than studying something you don't like.